everyone. Hello, thank you so much for being here. I'm Christy. I know I give off Blue Peter vibes, but I promise I'm going to do some stand-up. So here's some jokes I prepared earlier. Things that you should know about me is I am a millennial with a mental health problem, so I'm very unique. I have something called high-functioning anxiety. High-functioning anxiety is basically when everything on the outside is seemingly going quite well, looks fine, but underneath there's a little bit of madness happening. It's very similar to Michael Flatley's river dance. So very still on the top line, but there's a very serious jig happening down here. I am trying to get it sorted though. I found something so helpful recently. It's a type of therapy. It's called trickle-down therapy. And trickle-down therapy is when you can't afford to see a therapist but your best friend can. So you basically try and absorb all her therapist knowledge like some sort of Marvel supervillain. It's really easy to do. You just go around her house after she's had a session and sometimes she's crying and you have to be a little bit like, they're there, and you have to remind them that you only have 50 minutes. But then normally she says something really profound and I'm writing it down that a therapist has said, and then occasionally she carries on and she says, that just really reminded me of my relationship with my mother. And if that happens, you just very gently turn around and you say, shut up, Abby! No one cares about your relationship with your mother. I'm trying to have an emotional epiphany here. For free! Some people are so selfish. Something else to know about me is I'm a parent. I've got a beautiful little boy. And when I was pregnant with him, people would come up to me and they would say, when you have a baby, you get to be part of this special club, this special mums club. It's very special. I still don't know what the hell it is, and I haven't been invited. But I can play a special game now. And the game is, if I cough, will my pelvic floor hold out or will I piss myself? And it's such a good game because I never know what the answer's going to be. It's always like, surprise! We do go through a lot as women, don't we? If we're not pregnant, we have these things called periods. I don't know whether anyone's ever heard of those. And I thought I was dying when I got my first period because I grew up in the 90s and I thought my period was going to be blue. Some of that will land with some of you when you get home and you've thought about it, like all the very best jokes. But when I told my mum I got my first period, she did this. Oh, like I was some sort of social pariah. And then she left the bathroom, came back a few minutes later, and then she just opened the door a tiny crack, and then she just lobbed a box of tampons in and shut the door again. And I had to very quickly get a PhD in physics. Just opening up this never-ending leaflet full of mathematical diagrams, trying to work out what goes where, like, okay, well, if I use Pythagoras' theorem, maybe that goes in that bit, but I don't know. And that was just one of the problems that I had in my childhood growing up. I mean, there were a few things that I thought were going to end up being quite prominent in my adult life. The first one was obviously Bermuda Triangle, for all of us. And the other one was quicksand. I always thought I was just going to be like, oh no, quicksand! And I think the quicksand came from Fireman Sam. I just have a really vivid memory of a Fireman Sam episode where there was loads of quicksand peril. But I googled it, and apparently there's loads of quicksand in Wales, so it was really realistic. I think maybe what was the most unrealistic part of that show was the amount of arson that Norman Price commits. Like, surely he's in a young person's detention centre by now. What is going on? But yeah, anyway, I mean, I found out recently that the biggest problem I actually have in my adult life are mums' WhatsApp groups. So my husband convinced me to join this group. He said it'd be really good to make friends. And I don't know why he said that, because I already have 2 friends. I don't know how many friends you're meant to have. But anyway, after I got approved for this WhatsApp group, the nursery sent us a letter and they said they wanted to walk the children from nursery down to this local church for their carol concert, which I thought, oh, that's going to be so cute. They're going to be in their little high-vis jackets, going to be holding hands, it's going to be so lovely. Checked the WhatsApp group, everyone had gone, absolutely ballistic. I thought maybe I'd misread the letter, and then they decided to take the children via the Bermuda Triangle and through some quicksand. I mean, they're a nursery, they know what they're doing. They're not just going to be like, well, they've got their high-vis jackets on. Anything else is natural selection, innit? Like, no. But yeah, anyway, so these WhatsApp groups, sorry, I've lost my place. But yeah, anyway, so these WhatsApp groups, they're always trying to find a way to organise a fun night out. So, sorry, let me try that bit again, sorry. I didn't think that was the most dangerous part of the event, taking them down to the church anyway. I thought the most dangerous part of the event was taking the children into a church, because some of those kids need an exorcism. The kids are at the front, the vicar's there going, "I renounce you in the name of Christ," flicking frubes at their heads. And this WhatsApp group, they're always trying to arrange a fun night out. And I do feel bad, but I don't have the will to spend my precious few child-free hours with people who are going to talk to me about Ofsted reports and being an ingredients-only